सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। What is it? Rapper. Oh, rapper, yeah. He's a Hanuman, so he remembers more than that. So we will recite the mantra we were discussing this morning on the second page. Parikshalokan Karmachitan Brahmanaha Nirvedamayat Nastakritah Kratena Tadvijnanartham Sugurumeva Vigached Samitpanihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. So we were told Dve Vidye Veditavye Parachaiva Aparacha. There's these two forms, two kinds of knowledge we must gain. Paravidya, the knowledge of which the subject matter is Para or Paramatma, the absolute reality, and the Aparavidya, the knowledge of which the subject matter is the relative reality. The Vyavaharik Satta. Param Brahma and Karma. In short, in the Vedic terms, we should know Brahma, but we should also know Karma, which is the lower reality. And thus, Karma was described, particularly those who perform actions as a means of gaining success in life, because they have this understanding that success consists of the material achievements like the wealth, name, fame, power in this world or in the other world. Avidyama yamantare vartamanaha. They are nothing but ignorant and dwelling within ignorance only. Mudaha. If they do not learn anything from life, then they are mudaha, deluded people. There may be some, though, who learn. So karma also, when we perform properly, and then we understand the means and end, the nature of means and end, then we can learn. And that is what this mantra says. Parikshalokan karma chitan. Chitan acquired, karma chitan acquired through karma. Here it is Vedic karma, or it can be any action. Now Vedic karma is not of any relevance to us much. But whatever karma we perform, whatever activities we perform, actions we perform, whatever efforts we make in our life, to achieve what we consider as a goal of life, to achieve what we consider success, we perform, make efforts. And thus we can say that our life is a series of efforts, series of accomplishments. Pariksha, mostly people do not stop to think, and they continue to get from one accomplishment to the other, from second to the third. And that's how the life gets over. There may be someone, karma chitan lokan pariksha. Ikshanam, seeing. Paritaha ikshanam, seeing it from all sides. Meaning that not just seeing it the advantages. Certainly when you perform an action, make an effort, it gives rise to reward. And usually a person looks at just the reward aspect, not the price that you pay for that reward. So all we see is what we gain and perhaps not consider the price that we have to pay for gaining a given thing. That price may not be in terms of wealth, etc. That price may be in terms of our time, our effort, the opportunity in life also. That human life is a very special life, very special upadhi, human upadhi. And so those who have either from their own analysis of life or on account of being exposed to the learned people have recognized that what I am or a human being is seeking in life is something permanent, that I cannot be satisfied with anything impermanent. So first kind of vivek or discernment that should happen is understanding what am I seeking. Now one, the fact that the desires keep on arising one after the other means that I want something. And apparently that what I want is not attained, therefore the desires keep on arising. So then one may ask, what is the desire behind the desires? How is it that in spite of fulfilling so many desires, the desirer remains intact, even though desires come and go? The desirer, the seeker, the lacking, wanting person The lacking wanting person, meaning the lack or want, does not seem to be eliminated in spite of fulfilling so many desires and making some achievements in life. So this requires a certain leisure. And then pariksha loka, some pariksha, as our Swami used to quote, no time to stand and stare. I guess from Shakespeare someplace he must be quoting, no time to stand and stare. Running and running and running, and there was no time to review anything. Somebody who takes time and reviews the life. Karmachitan lokan pariksha. This is language, Vedic language. Or the presentation of this mantra is in terms of the Veda's arrangement of karma kanda and the jnana kanda. So Vedic karmas may not be relevant to us today, but karma or efforts we keep on performing one kind or the other. The Vedic karmas would have given us prosperity in this life and in other life. But karma or efforts we make also give us, the accomplishments in this life. So pariksha, analyzing, Brahmana nirvedamaya says any Brahmana means any contemplative person. Any thinking person, nirvedamayat, will discover a nirvedam or disillusionment with reference to what I am doing. He gets disillusioned, meaning that he has some expectations to have a certain satisfaction in life. He realizes that so many accomplishments do not give me any lasting satisfaction. Every accomplishment does give me satisfaction for a while, and then I find myself again seeking something else, meaning that all the accomplishments that I have had so far in life, none of them have given me any kind of lasting satisfaction. Everything ultimately loses its shine in course of time. As we say, you get a new house, enjoy it for some time, and then next question is, what next? A new car, what next? It may be 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, but then ultimately we get used to whatever it is that we get, and then the question arises, what next? And so this is pariksha, that nothing can give me any lasting satisfaction. And what I am seeking in life is lasting satisfaction. This is what one has to recognize. The reason why I am not satisfied in my life, not content in my life, that I want something else, this and one after the other, is because I have not discovered contentment in life. And so this is what one examines. Then we have to ask whether is it possible that something out there can give me contentment? Parikshalokan, karmachitan. Karmachitan acquired as a result of karma or effort. So we find that karma itself is limited, effort always is limited, and therefore whatever it is that we can achieve by an effort is also going to be limited. However great an effort is, and you might become the Prime Minister of India, President of the United States, great accomplishments. But still for how many years? 4 years, here 5 years. Here in India, of course, you can keep becoming, there's no end, no limit as to how many times you can become Prime Minister. At least in US, you can become President only 2 terms, not more than that. Meaning that every accomplishment has a time limit. And so, I've gone through all of this. My life so far has been this process of one accomplishment after the other. Each accomplishment gave me a measure of satisfaction. And I discovered its limitation, that all right, this much it can give me, but it cannot give me any lasting satisfaction. Cannot give me lasting contentment. And to recognize that I am seeking lasting satisfaction in my life. That's to be recognized. And that we can recognize if we take time to ask ourselves, what is it that I am seeking? Although technically it will say that you want nitya vastu. But here, in a very simple language, we can say that things are able to give me satisfaction for a while. The reason why nothing can satisfy me greater than a certain length of time is because I am seeking lasting satisfaction. So that one has to discover. One has to see what is the desire behind all these desires. Every desire is to get some satisfaction, but the desire behind all the desires is to get lasting satisfaction. In here, nitya sukham, satisfaction sukham, lasting nityam, eternal or permanent. I'm seeking something permanent, something having achieved, nothing remains to be achieved. I don't want to toil the whole of my life, one after the other, one birth after the other. I want a conclusion of this. And so Bhashyakara says that I am seeking nitya vastu, abhayam, shivam. I want something fearless, something that is auspicious, something that is eternal, something that is changeless, something that is trustworthy. Pujya Swamiji used to say that human being is searching something that is infallible. The human being is searching for the infallible. What is infallible? Infallible is that which is trustworthy, which does not disappoint me. So nothing so far I have discovered is infallible because everything promises something to me. I achieve that, I find a certain satisfaction, and then I find its limitation. All my life is nothing but a series of discovering limitations of various things. As Pujya Swamiji would say, that little infant finds all the security, infallibility from the mother, and then immediately rushes to mother the moment it finds a little bit of danger. Then mother, once one cockroach came and mother also screamed, and he said, oh, mother also is limited. And the father, the great, the bold one came, picked up the cockroach, threw away. Wow, my father is the infallible one. And a thief came one day and the father also screamed then. So he kept on discovering limitations of one thing after. He kept on trusting. The human being wants something that is trustworthy, something that will never disappoint him. And I'm in search of that's called infallible. Now this is a great step to discover that or to recognize that whatever I accomplish cannot be infallible. Whatever I accomplish will be limited in time, limited in place, and therefore a limited thing cannot give me the total security or unqualified security that I am seeking. Thus, I am seeking something that is nityam. So this is parikshalokan, karmachitan, brahmana. Brahmana, let us say contemplative person. Nirvedamaya. He became disillusioned. And Bhashyakara explains what Nirveda is vairagya. He now becomes, he has lost all attraction for, fascination for everything. Becoming free from attachment and aversions. We have been saying that vairagya is not aversion towards things. Vairagya is discovering a healthy relationship where I neither hate anything nor I am attached to something. And thus I have a relationship, I enjoy freedom in relationship. That's vairagya. Nasti akrutah krutena. So this mantra tells us what is the formula that this contemplative person is using to analyze, to examine the nature of things. Says, akrutaha krutena nasti. Akrutaha krutena karmana nasti. Akrutaha, that which is not krutaha, that which is not created, the uncreated. What is uncreated also imperishable. So that is nitya vastu, eternal, that cannot be the result of karma. Krutena karmana nasti. Akrutaha. Nityam vastu. Krutena karmana nasti. The nitya vastu, the eternal, cannot be accomplished by any effort. Whether here or regardless of what the nature of the effort is. But effort is limited, and therefore whatever is accomplished through effort is limited. It may last for 1,000 years. If you go to heaven, you may live for, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of years, and if you go to Brahma Loka, you may live for millions, billions of years. But Brahma Loka also ultimately will come to an end. They say that the duration of one day of Brahmaji is 8.4 billion years, or 4.2 billion years, and therefore 124-hour day of Brahmaji is 8.4 billion years. Billion. That looks like infinity, but that is also not infinity. We may settle for ourselves, all that give me happiness for 8.4 billion years, I'll be all right. But I guess you must have a vast perception, that even Brahmaloka also ultimately cannot give me what I am seeking in terms of eternal, infallible, imperishable, eternal, Therefore, very often in Upanishads, we find that Upanishad describes many upasanas or meditations, as in Kathopanishad, even as in Mundakopanishad also, which was skipped all those sections, where you can attain heaven or even higher worlds up to Brahmaloka by performing very special rituals and meditations. And this contemplative one analyzes even that. No, that is not relevant to us, Swarga and Brahmaloka, but it was relevant at that time. They were like the measuring, standards. Today I don't know what the measuring standard. What's the highest achievement? Then it was heaven, Swarga. Swarga also, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapas, so many levels of heavens were there. These days, we don't particularly, but heaven is not in my, radar. So one Acharya asked that heaven does not interest us, isn't it? He told a very nice reason, because you know Shraddha. They talk about heaven, the Puranas, and we just turn the pages because we do not have Shraddha or trust in all this stuff, and therefore we are more about the only achievements, all we know is in this life, nothing more than that. At the most you may think of building a colony in Moon or in Mars or something, it's all just fantasy. But then also what? So I guess this also does not seem to disappoint the person. This person is disappointed because he has recognized what it is that he wants. And that's what every human being wants. We have to pay attention to what is it that I want, what is the desire behind all the desires. And that will be the desire for unqualified happiness. Not just happiness, but unqualified happiness. Not just freedom, unqualified freedom. What is meant by unqualified? Not qualified, not limited by time, by place, by condition. Time means available for this period of time. Place available there and not elsewhere. What other condition, under these conditions you achieve? We want unqualified happiness, unqualified freedom. So this is what we have to discover. Otherwise Vairagya will not come. We keep on talking about, no Vairagya comes. Things keep on fascinating us. We keep on running from one thing after the other. Some new car has come, some new ornament has come, some new sari has come, some new house has come, something has come, a new tour has come. Nothing wrong in it. But what we mean is that as long as these things, the worldly things fascinate us, so long we have not discovered their limitation. With the real Vairagya, then one has nothing to do in the world, because nothing, no worldly accomplishment will turn me on. So sannyasa is only one, only thing. Sannyasa means now, then I give up. This whole exercise of performing actions and worldly achievement, I've done enough. Nasti akrutah krutena. The formula given here is that akrutaha, the permanent, the imperishable, cannot be attained by any karma, any effort. Then what do we do? If you cannot accomplish what you want by any effort, then what effort do you make, Swamiji? What do we do? I want the infallible, I want the eternal, I want the unqualified, and no effort can give me that. It's very frustrating. So what will be the next step? Now this is a step that requires tremendous grace, really. That jump. Tad vijnanartham. Now from this naste krutah krutena, nirveda maya, to tad vijnanartham, there is no linear step here, really. That is where the grace comes. Either grace of the teacher, grace of Ishvara, some grace comes, some insight comes. So that is insight that, oh, what I am seeking maybe already is there. What I am seeking is already accomplished. My nature and endeavor, what separates me from my goal is not some time or effort. What separates me is ignorance. No, this is something, a very big thing. Tad vijnanartham. They simply write tad vijnanartham. How does Vairagya, how does it lead to this? It is grace that maybe he is exposed to some teacher, exposed to something or the other, where you recognize that it is the accomplishment of what is already accomplished, achievement of what is already achieved. You follow what I am saying? Meaning that what I am seeking is already accomplished. Now there is no way that you can, or an individual can ever, strike. It can occur. It must be some teacher, it must be something, some grace by which now this person recognizes, because of Vairagya, he has the purity of mind. Therefore he gets an insight, because more pure the mind is, more you are with yourself. More you experience the Purnatvam or Ananda that you are, and it will give you an insight that maybe what I am seeking is discovered as myself. Now that's a big step. So far I thought that the goal of my life is, what separates me from goal of my life is some time, place or condition, and so I must do something to bridge that gap. Now one recognizes that what separates me from the goal is only ignorance. The 10th man is separated by ignorance. That's a big step. Then the knowledge, of course, tad vijnanartham. Then I realize that what separates me from wholeness, fullness, the infallible, the limitless, whatever word you use, from Ishvara, from Brahman, what separates me is not time, not place, not condition. By condition I mean not that I have to become bigger than what I am, smarter than what I am, wealthier than what I am, stronger. That also doesn't separate me. What separates me is ignorance. And so that's what you learn from that sadhana panchakam also. The sadhana and sadhya. What separates sadhya the end, sadhaka is the seeker, sadhana is a means. It is the distance of ignorance which can be only erased by the knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of self. That's another important thing. That it is the achievement of what is already achieved, and therefore I have to discover that what I am seeking is what I am. Now this is a big thing. If this happens, then your 80% journey is over. It has not happened to us, by the way. That's why journey goes on and on and on. That sincerely, if I understand and I am convinced that all that separates me from what I am seeking is just ignorance, that all that I need is knowledge. And for that I need vairagya, I may need whatever I samadhi satka sampatti. Then my focus will be totally on that. And that is where sannyasa comes. Sannyasa gives you the leisure of enjoying that focus, because now you have no duties, no responsibilities. So Vedas gave consent to the person that now you gain that maturity and therefore you can give up all your responsibility. Otherwise, Vedas are based on responsibility. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Hey Arjuna, you have responsibility to perform your duty. That's when it begins. But then a time comes when now I do not even need to perform duty. When that maturity of mind comes, then Vedas give us the consent that now you can give up all your responsibilities also. Now, the total responsibility is towards your own self. Runani trini apakritya mano mokshe niveshet. Manusmriti says that having fulfilled all your obligations, Vedas look upon our life as life of fulfilling obligations. Because we are receiving the help and support from the rest of the world and recognizing that. And in recognition of that, returning the favor. That's called responsibility. Then a time comes when that responsibility also is now given up, because now you have greater responsibility. Remember in Kathopanishad, Nachiketa was offered 3 boons. Most of you may have listened to Kathopanishad. In first boon, he asks for the peace of mind of his father. That is his responsibility towards the family, etc. In second boon, he asks for the knowledge of a ritual by which one can attain heaven or Swarga, because Nachiketa recognized that everybody is in search of Swarga, heaven after death. So please give me knowledge of that ritual which I can then share with others, that they can fulfill their desire of achieving Swarga, heaven after this life. Third comes now the responsibility for his own self. Please give me self-knowledge. Having fulfilled the duties towards family, fulfilled duties towards the society, now you have the freedom the leisure to now fulfill duty to their own self. So when this becomes my first priority, tad vijnanartham, then you can take sannyasa. In those days, in the Vedic days, you could not seek this knowledge, could not listen to teacher unless you took sannyasa. In those days. Because not like these days, the means of communications were not there. The teachers were also quite devoted to their values and way of life. And therefore it was customary for the jignasus or the aspirants to reach out to where the teacher was. And they did not live in the city, they lived someplace in the mountains or in the forests. Meaning that once you leave home, you leave for once and for all. And that means that you must give up your responsibilities, so take sannyasa and go. This is generally in the picture in the Vedic days, and that is what we are reading here. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva vigachet. When he discovers that what is separating me from what I am seeking in life is just ignorance is separating me. Not time, not place, it is the accomplishment of what is already accomplished. That's a great insight. To see that I'm limitless by nature and I do not know that, now that is called, ignorance. Tad vijnanartham. Then that vairagya gets transformed into the desire for knowledge. Sa gurumeva abhigached. For pursuit of knowledge, he must necessarily go to a teacher. Gurum eva abhigached. If you read the text, tad vijnanartham sa guru gurum eva abhigached. That is evakara. He must go to the teacher. So here Bhashyakara comments that even a scholar or one learned in the scriptures should not carry out investigation of self or Brahman independently. That this must be done under the guidance of a guru. So this is Swamiji, this is all Gurudam. Perpetuate Gurudam, And so you say that without Guru, so this is very said in all languages in India. You cannot gain knowledge without Guru. Guru bina jnana nahi. In any language you will hear. Is it to perpetuate the institution of Guru? That this is saying. Because here is knowledge of what? Knowledge of the self. Now please tell me, do you know yourself or not? Do you know that you are? Do you know that? And you know who you are? I am so and so. I am Devadatta. I am Vishnumitra. What? So then what knowledge are they talking about? I already know myself. Is it not so? Because I am a self-conscious being. And therefore I am always aware of myself. The self that I am conscious of is self-revealing, meaning that I have no choice but to be aware of myself. And that's a big problem. The self-awareness is the biggest problem we have. And therefore we seek deep sleep where we are free from the self-awareness and free from all problems. Is it not so? In deep sleep, no problem. When you cannot sleep, then you do something in order to somehow stone the mind so that you don't have to confront this self. Confronting myself is the biggest problem I have. See, you know the rope snake example? There can be this Brahma, a superimposition of snake, only when you are aware of the rope. In the pitch dark, if you did not see the rope, there would be no illusion of snake. In the broad daylight, if you saw the rope as a rope, no problem. But maybe in the evening twilight condition, when you see the rope and do not recognize it for what it is, that is when this Brahma or delusion of snake arises. Thus, we are born with this adhyasa, superimposition, where we are aware of ourselves, but we have all wrong conclusions or wrong notions about ourselves. And Vedanta explains that the primary reason for unhappiness or sorrow in my life is my conclusion about myself. My conclusion of who I am. Every time when you say who I am so and so, means dukkha. I am father, means dukkha. I am mother, means dukkha, sorrow. So Puja Swamiji would give an example of his father. Moment I am father, he remembers his son. Son is 18-year-old, a school dropout. And he persuaded the mother to give him money for a big motorbike and a mala also. He wears a shirt, does not button the shirt. He wears the mala given by his mother, rides the motorbike, of which he has removed the silencer, so that he announces everywhere, wherever he goes, father remembers the son, and his blood pressure rises, So every conclusion, every role or every notion about myself, whether it's father, mother, son, daughter, spouse, whatever, it is this which is the cause of sorrow. For a simple reason, that whether I am father, mother, whoever I am, that is nothing but limited entity. And therefore, with each role, with each notion about myself, is associated a sense of limitedness. It is a limitedness that makes me helpless and unhappy. Father, I feel helpless. I can't do anything with my son. With this, everybody feels helpless in life. Because you cannot accomplish everything that you want, you cannot get what you want, and cannot avoid what you don't want. Because I don't call all the shots, I don't control things, and therefore, life, every role is accompanied with anxieties, stresses, and sorrow. So it's a very negative way of life. I don't accept it. You don't have to accept it. I wish it is not so. Unfortunately, it is so. And so, it is a self-awareness which is the cause of all my sorrow. Awareness about the self which is wrong. And therefore, that is where the correction has to take place. And therefore, I require somebody to point out to me. Why do you need Guru? You need Guru in this specific case of self-knowledge. Because about self, I already have conclusions, already have notions, and do not know that these notions or conclusions are the source of my sorrow. I need somebody else to point out to me that, look, this is what you think about yourself, that's not so. And they must tell me how I came to this notion because of identification with body, with mind, this, that. And so that's how the Vedantic Prakriya will be taught to me. The anatomy of sorrow. The anatomy of sorrow. Cause of sorrow is notion about myself. What is the reason for that notion? The identification with one other aspect of my upadhi. And so there are many aspects, body, mind, sense organs, these, that. And every time the identification changes, my notion changes, nature of sorrow changes, but sorrow is constant. So you are very negative. You keep repeating sorrow, sorrow. I'm a happy person. Thank God. God bless you. But still you could be much happier than, you may be a happy person. But what is the potential of the happiness? In fact, if you truly knew yourself, you'd be happy beyond measure. Therefore, this has to be recognized or discovered, that it is by ignorance we mean the false conclusions about myself. Not just ignorance. Avaranam and vikshepa. Avaranam means not knowing the true nature of myself. Vikshepa means having false notions about myself. So this is what we will discover. Why do you look sad this morning? What's the matter? Swamiji used to say, Swamiji, I have not received the letter from my parents for 3 months. Why are you sad? Oh, Swamiji, I received a letter this morning. Why are you sad? I'm not getting married. Why are you sad? Because I'm married. Why are you sad? Because I don't have children. Why are you sad? Because I have children. I mean, what the reason? Everybody thinks that the cause of sorrow lies outside of ourselves. And then we always seek solution outside there, not recognizing that the cause of sorrow is not outside there. When I am not the cause of sorrow, it is my wrong notion about myself that is cause of sorrow. Only Vedanta teaches that. Nobody else will teach you that. Psychology will say that the sorrow is real, your desire is real, and they will give you solutions of how to fulfill desires and what to do with the etc. So Swami used to say famously that psychology cannot solve the problem and Vedanta does not see the problem. Psychology cannot solve the problem and Vedanta does not see the problem. Tad vijnanartham, but this requires a knowledge of myself. Meaning become free from all the conclusions and wrong notions about myself. Recognize that what makes me feel a sense of limitation is not that I am limited in the nature, it is this notion arising from identification which creates in me a sense of limitation. And so when this is, firmly established in my mind, then my priorities, otherwise I keep on blaming the world for my sorrow. This fellow said this fellow did this, and they did not do that, etc. Keep on complaining. Whereas the cause lies where? Not here, in my wrong notions about myself. Atma is not the cause of sorrow, but the wrong notions about Atma is the cause of sorrow. When we recognize, then there is a lot of freedom. Because now I stop blaming anybody. And, life becomes much simpler. It becomes very focused. I know exactly what I want. And thus all my energies can be now focused, concentrated upon what it is that I must do, become free from ignorance in the form of these notions. Tad vijnanartham sa guru vivabhigached. For the true knowledge of the self, when I become free from all this ignorance in the form of notions, I must go to the teacher who would tell me what is the cause, that number one, that the sorrow is caused by you, meaning that the cause of sorrow lies in there and not out there. And that too, it is the false notions or ignorance in the form of false notions that is the cause of sorrow. And therefore the solution is to remove that ignorance by knowledge. So what the teacher does is unfolds what's the true nature of self, makes me see How my present conclusion is a notion, not a reality? Tad vijnana. So that is why insistence upon Guru in this self-knowledge. About physics and chemistry, they don't insist that you have to go to a Guru. There are great scientists who have discovered things themselves. And you could. This one, about the self, because I already have a conclusion about myself. I think that I know who I am, and that's why I need somebody to point out to me where the error is, where the superimposition is, what is the anatomy of this notion is. Samit Panehi, Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam. This mantra tells you everything. Tells you Viveka, Nastya Krutah Krutena, Vairagya, so Nirvedamaya, Vividisha. The desire to know, Tad Vijnanartham, Guru Upasadanam. So Guru Meva Vigachet. Guru Upasadam means approaching the teacher. As we saw here also, Shaunako Hoivai, Mahasaraha, Angirasam, Vidivat, Upasannaha, Papracha. So this dialogue between Shaunaka and Angirasa. So Vidhi stated here that it is said that Shaunaka approached Angirasa in a stipulated manner, due manner. What is due? Samit Panehi. That the aspirant must approach the teacher Samit Panehi. Samit means the fuel. So when they perform the homa, there are those dry sticks. It's called samid. So little sticks of the dry twigs, from certain trees, not from any tree. And that is called samid, these dry twigs. And so the student goes with a bundle of dry twigs in his hand and approaches the teacher. And somebody really did it, in Salisbury. After listening to all of this, he brought with me, this. He took it literally, that this is how you should approach a teacher. But these days, I would not know what to do with those twigs. I mean, those days. Meaning that because the gurus were also performing homa every day, therefore they would have needed this fuel, and therefore you symbolically take a gift for the guru which is useful to the guru. If you bring that today, I would not know what to do with it, how to dispose it off, Symbolically. That means you should not rikta panina pashyeta, rajanam devatam gurum. He said that you should not go empty-handed to a king, to a devata temple, or to the guru. You must always bring some gift. And it doesn't have to be expensive gift. It just shows the attitude in your heart that I appreciate that here I am in the right place. Somebody also explained that dry twigs symbolize also the dryness of the mind, meaning that all the wetness of ragadveshas is evaporated. So just as the dry twigs right away catch fire, so also when the mind is like dry twigs, free from these emotional problems, likes and dislikes, then it picks up the knowledge quickly. That is, by the way, Samit Panihi Sagurum Abhigachet. And the qualification of Guru is given here. Qualification of disciple is that he is Viveki. Nastya Krutah Krutena. He is Vairagya, Nirvedamaya. He has Jignasa or Vividisha, Tad Vijnanartham. And he has the right humility. As Lord Krishna says, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena. Approach the teacher with a long prostration. Stay with the teacher, serve him, and win over his heart. Then, out of great pleasure or great, he will offer or he will impart knowledge to you. That's what is meant by Samitpani. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Shrotriya is explained as the one who is well versed with the scriptures. And Brahmanishta is the one who abides in Brahman. So, Brahmanishta is the primary qualification that he abides in the knowledge of the Brahman herself. But a teacher also must be Shrotriya, meaning that he must be well versed in scripture, and he should have the art of communicating this also. There are many great people who may be wise people, but may not necessarily be able to communicate that to others. So here is a wise person who is Shrotriya, who is well versed in scriptures, well versed in methods of communication. And that's how he can impart, he can communicate and impart that knowledge to the aspirant. So this is the whole process that takes place in the aspirant. And then the subsequent mantra, the teacher imparts knowledge to this aspirant. So we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.